Hello and greetings, my fellow Long Darkians, and welcome to a video, kind of discussion video about the state of the game, recent DLC issues, etc. We're all going to be talking it out, breaking it down in this video. So let me know what you think about any of this video during the comments below. Unlike the Hinterland forums, I'm not going to ban you. But anyway, alright, I'm actually currently, right now, I'm on a stalker run. We're about 25 days. I'm trying to get the cougar before the deal it gets pulled on Friday. I'm gonna try to get 3, but that's a lot of days. That's a lot of days to get 3 cougars. Gonna have to get a couple different runs. I'll see if I can grab it, the cougar in its current state, but we'll see. But that is getting pulled by Raph on Friday. Consoles next week. I do have to get some water though. We need some sticks for the fire if we can get that as well. So we'll do a little bit of light playing here. Maybe get a little bit of fire. But yeah, that is getting pulled off of Steam on Friday. Very not liked overall. I've only seen one person who didn't mind the mechanic, but overall, nobody happy about it. I think it was poorly implemented. Maybe it was just... I know there's actually files in the DLC, various modders they've dug out. You can actually spawn it with the dev console. They had like a little bit of it working, but I guess they just kind of like, if you remember when they had Old Bear, you know, Old Bear in the Wintermeat story. Sorry if I'm spoiling anything a little bit. When you had to stick him with the pole, with the spear, that's kind of, they tried to make that work in survival, but they couldn't, so they ended up just scrapping it. I think they kind of ran into the same issue. They tried to get it to work, probably tried to get it to work for a long time. They couldn't really nail it. So this was the kind of the idea, which I was afraid of. I thought they were going to go this way. And unfortunately, yeah, they did. I didn't think it would go over well. And it definitely didn't. So unfortunately, it might be back. You already said it's probably not going to be what you want, but it is going to be back at some point. And I'll raise the question, something you paid for just pulled out of the game now. That's a bad precedent, really. I'm not going to be able to get much water, but... maybe I'll try to get some sticks while we're at it as well. That does bring up a good question. If, yeah, you paid something, all of a sudden, hey, what if they decide scurvy? They want to take that out. That's also bad precedent as well. And of course, any stuff I'm kind of saying right now, they will regard me as toxic. Because you remember the issues I had with Raph a couple years ago. I distanced myself from Hinterland. I was getting harassing text messages after a video I did. Like Twitter, like 2 in the morning. Really insane. Never had a problem with any other developer in like 10 plus years. Yeah, so I stepped away from that. I've been happy. I've been happy to cover it. Because guys, I work for you. I don't take endorsement things anymore. I just work for you guys. That's kind of a glorious purpose for me. I really do enjoy it. But yeah, just the things have not gone well. And Raph came kind of back to the forefront. Katie, I believe, she was kind of took over the lead developer. And then mysteriously, we don't see her ever again. And I think things were going in an okay direction. And I thought we were going better, and now it has just gotten worse all over again. The DLC is various issues. I know people on PlayStation reporting to me that it's been crashing, stuff like that, etc. I haven't heard anything on Xbox, though. On Steam, I've just had bugginess. You'll have to check out my Old Bear, the Always Hunted challenge later. But I was in a DLC area where you're not supposed to be. So, with Old Bear, so maybe that explains what happened. Very weird, but other various things. And we'll talk about the cheating death mechanic as well. And I'll kind of go over the overview of all this stuff going on. But do let me know in the comments, what do you think of the state of the game right now? I also want to talk to you about something that I think maybe the DLC... I feel like Long Dark, if you remember back for the DLC, great game, right? Great game. Fantastical. I still love the Long Dark. Don't get me wrong, I've covered in like 3 videos a day the last whole week. I've been playing non-stop. I love it. But I think there's a point you're tweaking with too many systems. You're doing too much. You're adding stuff just to add it. I don't think there is a ton of thought into the long term of this. I know you made a bunch of grand plans on the DLC, but it's not working out so well. I do have to say. Cougar poorly implemented. I have to check on maybe Reddit above. They'll probably have a video of that spawning that cougar in the dev console. So they're gonna go back to the drawing board, see what they can do. I saw one person in my last video had a comment about maybe they could make it kind of like Old Bear, and I think that could work. But I think they were trying something like that anyway, and they just couldn't get the model to work. Probably they are working on Unity Engine. That's not gonna be an easy thing to do. So we'll have to see. They do plan to bring it back at some point. The last couple days they were banning a lot of posts, a lot of people deleting threads, just trying to contain the fire. But at a point, you just really can't. And these weren't. They're calling people toxic. The posts I saw weren't toxic. Maybe like 5%. Some people's language could have been a little bit better, but overall it was just people that were disappointed. They were upset. They were not happy with the problems in the DLC. And if you paid for it, I think you have a very good right to complain. That's why we have like and dislike on videos, you know? I mean, even though YouTube hides the dislikes now, I don't like that either, but what can I do? And I've got wolf problems. I don't really need to shoot you though, so I'm not gonna do that. I could easily avoid you anyway. But yeah, there's a lot of issues with the DLC. Raph stepped back in and said, taking out because Hinterland is actually working on 2 new IPs at least. That I'm aware of. 88 people work at Hinterland. And I don't know how many people are working. I know some people are probably working on Wintermute. I know that's very desired. People very unhappy so much on this DLC that Wintermute it's only have a date. Maybe this year? I don't know. No idea. They said 2024, but they said that before. I think they said that in 2023 or 2022. I lose track. But just a reminder that I am toxic, so you probably shouldn't listen to me. Oh, that's just too funny. Oh, man. But I also want to talk about the DLC sales on Steam as well, because it's an interesting kind of fact I wanted to bring up. It's sold so far the DLC, and how you figure out how the copies sold. And this isn't a total 100% math on this, because SteamDB used to have a better things on this, but they don't have it on DLC stuff anymore. And I need to go get my water because I'm pretty sure it would have boiled dry by now. I got a little over talking. But it sold about 52,000 copies. But he granted, how many copies did it sell on Steam? 4 million so far. 4 million copies. And you figure out that because you take the amount of reviews, because it's on average 40 copies sold for every actual review written out. It's generally what it adds up. It could be a little off, but generally that's the formula. And it's usually pretty accurate. So Long Dark sold about 4 million copies. 52,000. Now that is kind of telling in a way because I'll grab that. We gotta hurry, Will, if we're gonna get 30 days, because it is 30 days on Stalker for the wolf. I figured a rifle would be a little bit better chance when we get jumped and mauled by the cougar and we get that one woozy shot, as it were. And that brings up another interesting thing we'll talk about in a second, but right now the DLC is 66% positive. Not really great. Not really great. I do care. Remember, so far Hinterland's made about a little over $1 million on the DLC. That was originally going to be a 12-year plan, and the reason we and Raph really kind of fell out is because I mentioned that I didn't think they could do it, and I knew they couldn't do it, and well, lo and behold, it didn't happen. They've made about $1 million. Though you got to configure maybe 20-30% ish of that. It goes directly to Steam, and you don't really know because sometimes they had sales on the DLC, so it might be slightly less. Well, let's go with $1 million. So they got about 750,000, let's say. Still good deal. But then you divide that by employees, costs, etc., like that, then that starts to turn into a little less over the years. And also, let's go with Wintermute as well, because remember, they did divide the game into 2 copies. They said it was to help, that would speed up Wintermute and updates to Long Dark, which neither really turned out to be true, I feel. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, it's been 18 months on a 12-month DLC plan, and Wintermute's been delayed more than a few times. So I mean, my theory is maybe they thought they could sell more copies. Wintermute on Steam, it looks like it sold about 25,000 copies. About 51% positive on that. People are not happy about the DLC getting done before Wintermute, and I kind of have to agree. I know they needed money to keep it. They probably needed money to keep going to finish up Wintermute and work on the other IP stuff. It's my guess. I could be wrong. Maybe just thought it was a fun idea, probably a little bit. But remember, it's a business at the end of the day, and you got to make money. So that could probably be it. And right now, yeah, there is a Steam sale, so go check that out. You can pick up the DLC. I used to recommend it, but right now I can't honestly. There's just too many problems right now. There's just, honestly too many problems with this DLC. I don't think it was tested enough. And then we'll talk about why it wasn't probably tested enough, because I think they should have public betas, really. Because the problem with Hinterland is they kind of made this bubble in the Hinterland forums. That's the only place, because that's where I found info on Raft talking things. That's the only place I could find it, is in these replies, all the way in the Hinterland forums. Not on Steam, not on anywhere else on the internet, not on a developer video. They create this little bubble where only positive things can be said. You can't question, you can't do anything, but unless you're giving nothing but praise, and you surround your people that give nothing but praise, this is kind of things that lead to things like this. A lot of people testing out Misery Mode, and I thought Misery Mode is okay. I think it should have been a challenge, in my opinion. It's okay. I don't know. I like let me know if you like Interloper Misery. I haven't made up my mind 100% on Misery Mode. I do dislike that it's kind of like As They Sleep a little bit. Just because you always spawn in the same location, it's gonna get old really quickly. And I think nobody brought that up because no one wants to cross the big guy, as they say. They just say everything is great. Everything is grand. Yeah, and I don't think people, they don't speak up enough. And if they do, you get labeled toxic, get banned from forums, etc. I just say, if you do have any comments over in Hinterland, remember they are people as well. Just try to come out in a diplomatic, nice way. And hope for the best, I think. Like a little bit of a rant there, but it's just a little disappointing. I've been covering this game over for 10 years. And I cannot imagine 10 years later I would be having this conversation with you. After Hinterland tried to cancel me last year, which, see, it didn't really work. But I think that never does. But, I mean, there's a lot of bugs in this DLC. The cheating death thing is kind of broken. Because I showed you in that video, I spawned. Which, first try, by the way, I spawned in the cannery. Couldn't get out. And I found that in about 5 seconds. There's a lot of things, and we're seeing recurrence of well, because somebody getting tactical gloves because they spawned in their 700-day run. They had 0% on that because it ages everything. I think that's something we could have addressed a long time ago. Problem is with these DLCs, we fixed some stuff, but every DLC is adding more problems, and we're not fixing it before we release the next thing. I just don't feel like the focus is on the Long Dark right now. There needs to be a righting of the ship. And Raph said he was going to right the ship, and then we drove into Titanic just a little while ago. So I'm not really sure. But currently also Long Dark, number 602 on the top sellers. Which is not bad for a 10-year-old game as well. So I do want to see the positive for it. I think the next DLC update, though, maybe they could have a public beta or something, or private beta. Do something a little more. I know they do have an internal tester, maybe two. But that's not enough. Because I mean, other people found stuff pretty quickly. And I know it's maybe different PCs, different things happening, but it is a little telling as well. So also let me give you my thoughts on the DLC. Currently we're not on that map, though. I hope I didn't let the water boil out. But the DLC map, Sundered Pass, I like it. I like it quite a bit, actually. I think it's really well done. You get a thumbs up for that. I like it. The only caveat I make is, overall, the DLC is Glimmerfog. The Glimmerfog, because I know it's part of the whole Tales thing, which we'll talk about in a second. It kind of just ruins it for me a little bit because it's something, it's an annoyance you have to deal with. You don't get to enjoy the scenery, the immersion, like right here. The immersion in the long dark. As I sit here and wait for this cougar to maybe show up so I can get mauled. But overall I like it. My only other caveat is because somebody had mentioned that they've seen, they had less Timberwolves than the Timberwolves Everywhere mod up in Sundered Pass. And I think there's a little too much. It felt like they're kind of, when you get them to the upper part of the map, like somebody didn't know what to do with it. So they just like, I'm going to sprinkle like 4 Timberwolf packs right there. My opinion, I think we could have done something a little better with it. Especially when some part is so integral. They're integral parts right there to the Tales story. That's going to irk some players, I think. But, you know, at the end of the day, it's just an annoyance, really. I just have to spend some time getting them clear. Whatever. Overall, Sundered Pass, though, I do give a thumbs up. Overall, it's really great stuff. Also, let's talk about what's else in DLC. The Tale. I'm finishing it up currently. I've just been working on so many videos for you guys. I just haven't had a chance. Because I didn't want to do it off camera. I'm trying to do just a run. So you guys get my first impressions and everything. Oh, good. Good, I like it. I can almost argue the storytelling is better than Wintermute. It's decent. I like it. It's sold all in journals and stuff, but yeah, it's got a nice gameplay loop. Sometimes there's a little going back and forth, but you know, just go there, now go back there, now go all the way back up there. But overall, I like the Tale. Let me know what you think about the Tale. I like it. I do like it quite a bit. Then we'll also talk about, well, I'll do it in my tab, and I don't like that UI. The UI right in the middle, like I got my bars on the left, I've got the other things. That's what I like. I'm sounding like an old man now. Now the cheat death system, I don't like it per se. I haven't enjoyed it because if you do the temporary cheat death, it kind of, I don't think there was enough testing, honestly. It kind of spawns you in like bad situations you probably will not be able to get out of. Like even as good as I am, it's like some spawn, you're like, okay, it's dark. You're in the middle of like a whiteout area. Good luck, maybe. Or they spawn me 4 maps away. Which you kind of don't want to take that because you were kind of doing something. I was in the middle of a Tale. So I had to take the other option. But yeah, they also have the health permanently. I think it's kind of more like just a gimmick system. I don't like it. I mean, if people wanted it easier, they're just like Voyager or Pilgrim, honestly. I think we should... One of the great things about this game was the permadeath system. That would draw me to the game. Would I have been playing this for 10 plus years? If every story wasn't a great tale I brought you many long interloper runs that have been great stories because there's risk. There's reward. It tells a journey. No one is alike, really. And it can end at any moment. Now, I think we're all a little less for it, actually. That's just my opinion, though. But also, let's go into the crafting real quick. And do be aware, they did say they're taking out the cougar. But it will be back in some capacity. Do not hope for the best, though, because I do not have hope at this point right now. I mean, but I just don't want to get my hopes up. They'll still keep building crafting these items. You won't be able to repair it, though. So maybe if you do craft it, you've already crafted it, just stow it away. Try to save the conditions best you can. Maybe avoid that run for a while, best you can. The Cougar Claw Knife. Now I like these items. I think they're kind of cool to go with it. That what brings us to an unfortunate, the mechanic of the Cougar. Poorly implemented. I don't think it was well thought out. My fire's gonna go out now. What is about... I just pick up my cup. It's getting... Take a venison tonight. I spent the last 10 days or so just sitting here and... It's epic gameplay, I know. I will expand time a little bit. I don't have too much else to do. But I think, you know, you could turn this around. I definitely believe you can turn it around. I don't know what's going to... That studio has always been very quiet. You only ever see one person talk. I don't know if you ever noticed that. But that's for Time to Talk Katie. I've talked to a couple of other developers. A couple of people are not with them anymore just because, you know, people, you move on to different projects, different teams, different studios, etc. It happens. I haven't heard anything bad happen, but I kind of want to know what's going on. What are we working on? Maybe a little clarity would help. Because I do believe they're still working on those other projects. I don't think they just all of a sudden decided out of the goodness of their heart to not work on other projects that would make them money down the long run. Because right now you're kind of burning money because you're not making enough to fund the whole team. So I don't know how much they saved up from the $4 million in sales. Yeah, you just don't know. It's been about 10 years though, so could kind of guess on that. Got past a little time there. But overall, yeah, let me know what you think. My comments. Tell me I'm bad. Tell me I'm awful if you didn't agree with anything I said. But do let me know. Definitely won't ban you from the forums if that does happen. So this still kills me. I do want to bring up another one topic I did forget about, though. Hinterland, when they came back with the presents, they threw out their very, you know, no toxicity. You players are toxic. And Long Dark is the greatest community I have ever been a part of. I love you guys, because honestly, you're the nicest community I've ever had, ever been a part of. So nice. I've never met really anybody bad in the Long Dark community. Everyone has been wonderful. I couldn't imagine anybody in there being toxic. But that's what they said, and they have a bunch of volunteer mods, as it were. We'll go around banning people, moving threads, etc. How does Hinterland not have the money to have somebody paid to take care of this? That's, I don't know. I feel like that's kind of almost exploitation of super fans, as it were. But I don't know the situation well enough. But it finds odd to me that you're all about the crunch and virtual signaling, etc. That you would have people that aren't getting paid working for you. That's just my take on that. Also, I can't find my bed now. Other way. There we go. Let's get a good night's sleep. And don't worry, I will be bringing you more videos of the map tour. Like I said, I don't like making videos like these because I want to be positive. I just hope maybe Hinterland learns, maybe, from this. And we can move on from this, make things great again, as it were. But do let me know what you think in the comments. I will get working on that map video, more of Misery Mode, and our Signal Void Tale, and of course the Interloper series as well. And let me know if you want the Interloper series or we want Misery maybe to take over as the series. I don't like it because it doesn't have enough variety though, because you spawn in the same area, same things happen. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of cool, but also it's not something I want to do all the time. It'd get repetitive. But alright, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for letting me ramble there, as it were. But I hope to see you in another Long Dark video. Hope you guys enjoyed. All the best to you. And I will see you back in the Long Dark.